My Colorverse Inkvent calendar just arrived and I can't wait to show it to you guys and unbox everything. It's so exciting. I loved my one from last year and so I can't wait to see what they put in this year's. So today this is going to be a complete spoiler video. Just as an FYI, I'm going to open up the box. We're going to swatch all the inks and at the end I will go over value and what I think of the calendar in general. I will timestamp everything for you guys down below, so if you want to skip to certain parts, you're more than welcome to do that. All right, let's get into this. So the Colorverse Inkvent calendar, which is a fountain pen ink calendar, comes in it's shipped in an external box, and then you have this box, and then there's another box inside. It is $180, which is quite a steep price point, especially compared to the Diamine calendar. So inside this is what you'll see. So let's take it out. And I will say it is quite heavy. Inside here, we have glass bottles, and glass bottles just have a weight to them. But let's go over some of the specifics of this year's calendar. First of all, you get this little guy, and this little guy is, they call it the golden ticket. So there's going to be 5 grand winners that are going to get an amazing special prize. I don't know if the prize includes shipping, so you may have to pay for shipping. I'm not sure. In that golden ticket, I'm going to insert a picture here of what you would get. So you get the shuttle nib, which is valued at about $45. I think it was a little hard to tell because the site didn't give me English for which one was the brass nib versus the other, but I'm assuming it's the slightly higher priced one. So the shuttle nib, the nib holder, which is $80 because you're getting the longer one. And then the ink barrel, which is a really cool. The ink barrel, you can actually put ink inside of it and use it to dip, but it also is a holder for the nib. And so it's like a pen rest as well, which I thought was really cool. Then you get a season ink, which is, I think, just one of their whatever's coming out recently inks. And you'll get, they send them in like 2-packs. So you get a 65, I think it is, milliliter bottle and one of the smaller 15s that go together. And 15 is what we're getting in here. And then you also get a notebook, which I have one of their notebooks. I can't figure out where I put it right now, but I love the little notebook that I got. I think I got it in a mystery box from Gold Spot. And it's just an amazing little notebook. It works really well with my fountain pen inks. Then you get the HIR, and you're getting 100 milliliters. And I had to look up what that was because I was like, what is this product? But it's actually a kind of soap for the human hand to get off all the ink stains that we always get on our fingers, especially when we're using dip pens. I'll definitely be needing something like that by the end of this, guaranteed. And then you also get a bottle of their pen soap, which is used for cleaning out your fountain pen. So it's a really amazing value. The notebook, I don't have a price on. The HIR is about $23, and the pen soap runs about $18. So altogether, it's a value of about $226, which is kind of amazing. And they're giving away 5 of those. So I would love to say that I'll be a lucky winner, but my luck is never that good. But it does say that everybody is a winner. So you either get free shipping, a 5% discount, or a 10% discount are the general prizes. And those will work with their store. Now, they are located in Korea, so I'm not sure what the shipping and everything else would be, but it's a really nice, little gift that they're including. It's a little something extra, which I really like. Now let's talk about the calendar itself. Now we get 24 days. They do design everything uniquely. So this year on our front, we have like a astronaut with a like Santa Claus little sack being pulled up. At least I assume he's being pulled up. Maybe he's being descended. I'm not sure. Down to, I think this is Mars, and there's like a little Christmas tree and everything. So I like the fact that they're including a little bit more Christmas than they did last year. Last year didn't really touch on Christmas, but they are a Korean company, and I don't know how big Christmas is over there. I know it's starting to get bigger. I have a friend who lives over there, but otherwise, I know Halloween has started to be a big thing for them, but Christmas is more of a family time, is my understanding. So it doesn't surprise me that there's not a lot of Christmas in this, but I love the fact that they're doing something special. Now, unlike the Diamine calendars, only 3 of these inks, which will vote, like they have a general voting, only 3 of these inks will make it out of the calendar. So it is a rather exclusive thing, which kind of plays into that whole, are you going to miss out on anything type mentality. And then on the back here, let's look. So we have Colorverse Christmas Countdown. We are pleased to announce the launch of our Christmas collection, which features 24 new ink colors in 15 milliliter bottles. And their bottles are unique to them. So they're designed because all of their things are kind of space themed or science based, which I love about them. And so this is how their 15 milliliter bottles look. It's supposed to look a little bit like a comet going across the sky, and I love that. This is from last year's Inkvent. This was day 7, and I love this ink. So know that you're getting a really unique and very customized product here. They do say, let's see, from December 1st to 24th, discover a special gift hidden behind each door. The gift will be presented in a Colorverse signature bottle, which I just showed you. This festive season, let us bring joy to your days with these extraordinary inks, which allow you to create moments as unique and special as the universe itself. Top 3 inks will be released. This is how you vote. While the Colorverse calendar is produced in limited quantities following a comprehensive analysis of voting data via Google Forms and consumer feedback, we will select the top 3 Colorverse calendar inks as our most promising candidates for signature bottle inks. These will be released in upsized format at a later date. I think this year they came out, I want to say around June or something. With that all being said, we're going to open the doors. There are messages on the back of the doors. We'll read those. And then I'll be swatching everything in my Ironful notebook using my Kakinori dip nib and talking a little bit about the colors. And then we'll come back at the end once everything has dried and talk about them a little more. So let's start with day 1, which is over here. Cute little Christmas tree on it. So there is a little push in, and then you can pull out. And it looks like we're getting a red ink for our first ink. It says, Martian dust. The red dust of Mars regularly rises with massive storms covering the entire planet. Very true. And they do come out rather easily from there, which I like. I also like, honestly, the fact that we're not having to deal with additional plastic to open these guys up. That is something that I found difficult last year with my Diamine one. So red dust, or Martian dust, sorry. Now, they do only have 3 types of ink, really. They have standard ink, they have sheening inks, and then they have what they call glistening inks, which are shimmer inks. I don't think they have other things, so I'm only looking for things or expecting things in those 3 categories. I think this is a standard. Last year, I want to say most of the inks were standard. There was maybe a couple that weren't. And one of the suggestions I had was that they should do like I think it's Wieringle or something that had a base color or a base shimmer that you could add. And I thought that was really cool. So let's see, day 1. And this is, how do I want to do this? We'll do Martian. Ooh, my lettering is not great there. Sorry. There we go. It's a very deep red. which, you know, honestly, I love a deep red. I don't think this one is similar to anything that I have that I can think of off the top of my head. But I really like the color. Okay, so I don't get confused. I did write out all of my little numbers on these tags. Unfortunately, these are not the type of tags I can put the color on, but I can keep track of my days this way so I don't mix anything up. So I'm just going to put a number 1 on the back here. And yes, they are 15 milliliters. So unlike the diamine, which I think is 12 milliliters, and then you get a larger one at the end. All right. Little complicated. Sorry, guys. I'm doing smaller swatches this year because I want to try and get as many of I can on the one page. So day 2 is down here at the bottom. Ooh, this looks like a kind of yellowy orange. It says Apollon, Apollon. I'm really bad at pronouncing things, so I'm just going to spell out some of these things for you guys. And it says that it's the god of light and the arts. The golden light he carries. Oh, is it Apollo? No, Apollo's spelled differently, isn't it? Oh, anyhow. The golden light he carries held a quiet strength. Ooh. I do like the idea of this one. Very cool. It looks like another standard ink. I like the way Martian dust is like drying. There's like some brown around the edges, and I love my Captain Hook. I think that is a darker version of Captain Hook almost. We'll have to see. Okay, so we have day 2. Ooh, more orangey than I thought it would be. This will be good for fall. Day 2, Apollon. Oh, it's a very bright going down. I wonder if it's going to stay that way. Sometimes when you have these really bright colors like this, they end up drying in interesting ways and end up a little bit more brownish or anything like that. But I love the almost reddish hues you're getting in there. And now day 3 is up here. And their boxes are really easy to open for their tabs. So day 3 is Erebus crater, Erebus crater, at the south edge of the red planet. Opportunity once sent a photo from a wind cavern greenish crater. Oh, okay. I wonder if each one of these are going to have like a connection to Mars. If that's, they usually do really good on their themes, especially their space themes. So that would be kind of cool. So again, this looks to be a standard ink. I like the label. Like, it almost looks like, I don't know, grayish on the label. So I wonder if that's what we're going to get. These two look so nice together, don't you guys think? Ugh. I will get the bottle open, I swear. I guess that goes in there like that. Okay, now I'll just have to get everything off my fingers. Sure. And I just got it under my nails. So I do not have dirt under my nail. I have ink. Anyhow. That is so pretty. I'm really loving day 2. So day 3. Yeah, it's definitely looking like murky. I don't know if I would call it green, but we'll see how it dries. E-R-E bus. Crater. Oh, I see the green now that we're seeing the bigger swatch. I like that. You know, I did find it interesting last year that, so out of the gate, I was more wowed by the Diamine calendar. But when it came down to it, I actually used my Colorverse inks more than I used my Diamine inks, which I found interesting. So let's see. Door number 4. Ooh, Milky Sea. In some oceans, bacteria emit light, and for one night, the sea glows like a galaxy. Oh, that's cool. I'll have to look that up. There we go. I wonder where that is. Okay, so yes, I was like, we're probably getting a shimmer here. Look at how pretty that is. So one of my favorite inks from last year is actually Milky Way. And I wonder how this is going to compare to Milky Way. While I'm shaking it up, I can probably show you Milky Way. I just did a whole big swatching of all of my inks from last year, so I could kind of compare them. And this is last year's. Here's Milky Way from last year. So it was a deep purple with a very blue shimmer. I wonder if this will be the reverse, because that would be kind of cool. Although I don't know. We have everything kind of integrated. And it has, like, in the bottle, there's an iridescent quality to it. So I'm hoping we get that on paper too, because that would be cool. Oh, this one did it too. It's not a big deal to fix. You just kind of poke it right back in there. But that's interesting. I am going to end up with a lot more ink on my fingers, that's for sure. And I am going to close you because a lot of times that shimmer falls really fast. Yeah, and once you put it back in place, it's like not a big deal at all. Okay, so day 4, which isn't flowing as easy. Oops. 4, and this is Milky Sea. And I'm going to put here shimmer. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh my goodness. I'm going to love this one too, I bet you. Oh, so pretty. Actually, it's a really deep blue, it looks like, with baby purple hues in it. And, oh, I forgot to put my number on 3. And really bright blue shimmer. I just realized how far away you guys are. So we're going to zoom you in a little bit. I'll go, here's our first 4 days. So, so pretty. Okay, day 5. Okay, we're going to hold it. That's what we're going to do. So day 5 is up here. Ooh, the void. There are voids in space spanning billions of light years. Nothing exists there. It is perfectly black. So this should be a really deep black, I would assume. I wonder how this will compare to like Good Tidings from the Diamine calendar from last year. Because I think that's one of my blackest inks. I wonder if it'll get a sheen with this one. I could see that because I did with Good Tidings. So day, oh, that's very wet there. That's probably me. 5, the void. Very dark though. And definitely a very, seems much wetter than the other inks for me, but I mean, that could totally just be me. Very, very deep black. Very deep black. Okay, cool. Everybody needs a really good black. I mean, it seems so basic, but there is such variety in black. Love to see how it dries though. So day 7's at the top here. Ooh, LGM. In 1967, a rhythmic signal arrived from space, and for a moment, we all wondered, little green men. Oh. So this would be in honor, I assume, of little green aliens. I like the concept, but then I'm really, really partial to space themes. So maybe if you're not. So what do we expect? I'm hoping it's not lime green because I really hate like neon colors. They're hard on my eyes, and so I end up not using them. There was one from last year that was in the Diamine calendar that was, gosh, what was it called? Oh, Lemon Lime. Was not a fan. Well, I think this is going to be a more solid green. It wasn't shimmer, right? As I look at the bottle and try not to spill it. Okay. So, okay, not neon. At least not the neon I was thinking. So I like that. Day 6. It does make me think little green men. LGM. And I'm going to put next to it little green. I have to admit that, like, some of the color names for things, I'm always like, how did we get here? But for a lot of the Colorverse inks, I actually really get it. I don't know if it's because my brain thinks that way or if it just is more logical than artsy, and so there's less interpretation. I don't know. Do you guys find that? Like, I like the Waringle ones too. Those ones usually make sense to me. But sometimes, oh gosh, what ink company is it? I can't remember. There are some inks out there that I'm like, how did we get here? Okay, day 7. Say 17. Because that wasn't day 7. Oh, that was day 7. Oh, shoot. I just messed up my numbers. Hold on. Let me fix it. I must have not put my number on day 6, which was void. Wait. Hold on. Did I missed day 6. This is day 7. That's what I did. Hold on. Made a misstep. Gotta fix it. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, we're gonna try and fix our number here and just be like, you are not actually day 6, you are day 7, and we're going to do something like that. Oh goodness. I knew it was bound to happen at some point. Okay, day 6 is here. Ooh, sun grazing comet. Sun grazing comet, a comet racing toward the sun. Its path goes briefly, then vanishes into light. Are you thinking sheen? I'm thinking sheen. Okay, it looks like it's going to be a blue. I wonder if, like, I'm almost getting teal tones in there. That'd be cool. I love me a teal. Oh, I like how Little Green Men is drying. It kind of loses some of that neonness. And it's just kind of a nice light green, which I don't think I have any of, honestly. So let's see. So this one is day 6. Oh. Okay, Nib Dim. Stop being a pain. Okay. And I have my finger on there. Shoot. Sun grazing. I'm sorry, guys. That's 2 mistakes in a row. So we should be done, right? My camera stopped recording because it only goes for so long, and then it's like, nope. That is a segment for you to deal with. So I'm guessing we might get a little sheen. I don't know. But it has this really cool light blue, dark blue going for it, which is very pretty. But that's our first week. So we have red, orange, 3 blues, a black, which is sheening, by the way, and a green. Okay, not bad for our colors. On to day 8, just down here. Day 8, Snow Angel. Through Hubble's lens, the silhouette of an angel drifts like a taupe-colored mist. All right, taupe. Taupe isn't my favorite color. And Snow Angel, without that explanation, I would think Snow Angel should be an entirely different color. But knowing that it has nothing to do with actual snow does help. Sorry, just rearranging a little bit here. All right. So, Snow Angel. Definitely looking like a brownish color. Looks a lot lighter in the bottle than some of the ones we've had so far. Oof. I'm going to guess, yep. So I've never had that before these bottles. So that's interesting to me. But really is easy to fix. All right, Snow Angel. Day 8. Snow Angel. Okay. I might like this more than I thought I would. Oh, and I am definitely seeing a little bit of a red sheen with the blue above. Like I said, we'll take closer looks at the end. Yeah, I like that one. More than I thought I would. When I hear the word taupe, I'm like, But this is actually, I don't know, I like it. It's kind of a light brown, but with, I don't know how to describe it. But it doesn't look like gross taupe. Does that make sense? Okay. So there's day 8. Let's go on to day 9, which is up here in the corner. I love the moon. We're getting a moon color. Ooh, okay. What's this one say? Morning frost on Mars. Frost glistens palely on the peaks of Olympus Mons in the Martian mountain sun. Gleam mix. Add a small amount to standard inks to achieve a shimmer effect. Yes! Okay, so, oh wow, look at that. So this makes me think they were listening to my review last year, which would be so cool. And I love this idea. It makes, so one of the big complaints I heard last year from different people was that there wasn't enough shimmer inks and stuff. And now you can make every single one of your inks a shimmer ink if you want to, but you don't have to. So if you're fine nib girly or guy, or an extra fine or a needlepoint, like you can't really use the shimmer inks as much. So this gives you more versatility, and I love that. I don't know how it's going to swatch though. I mean, it does have color to it, so we'll see. And I'm trying to think, could we do an experiment at the end where I mix it with one of them? Maybe we could. These bottle lids are really on there tight, so if you have a hard time twisting, like say you have arthritis or something, you might want someone else around to kind of help you open them, just as an FYI, because they are a challenge. Okay. I don't know if this will show up or not, so let's see. Day, kinda, 9. I love the name of it too. So it has like a pinkish maybe tone for the frost. So I am going to lift this one up wet so you guys can see it because it is so light. And it's light on purpose, so it's not going to change the color of your ink. But there you go. So, so pretty. That is amazing. Oh my gosh. I feel like I said something that was worthwhile. As silly as that sounds. So, anyhow. Okay. So that was, oh, and it comes with a little very smushed pipette. I'm sure I could reinflate that somehow. Anyhow, so that's 9. 10 is over here. And by the way, it does go with the moon. Just saying. So like even the placement, I think they kind of thought about it. Number 10, Flame Nebula. Ooh, that sounds cool. The Flame Nebula is Orion seems to ignite as nearby starlight sets orange hydrogen ablaze. Ooh. Okay. So red orange maybe? I don't see any glitter. I could see a sheen in this with the name and everything, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I really like sometimes guessing what it's going to be. I find that fun. Definitely a red orange, I can tell. I'm going to have so much ink on my finger by the end of this. But then again, you know, I usually end up with a lot of ink on my fingers. It's just a thing. So this is day 10. Oh, that makes me think autumn oak. We'll have to see how close they are. So, Flame Nebula. No, it's more orange than autumn oak, I think. I don't know. On to day 11, which is up here. Ooh, hold on. I got this. This one is a little harder to open. Sorry, guys. Ooh, blue hole. So last year we had white hole. So what's blue hole? Blue hole. From within the blue hole, the sky reveals a sea of unparalleled clarity. So where is blue hole? I'm going to have to look these up. It looks like it's going to be a teal though, and I love me a teal. It's my favorite color. It used to be silver, but now it's teal. Oh, I didn't see any shimmer or anything, right? Yeah. Okay, this is day 11. Ooh, I like that color. It's very bright, but not in like a bad way. Blue hole. So white hole last year was almost too light for me, but this will not be too light. I like this color. Could you imagine that with a little bit of shimmer in it? That would be pretty. On to day 12, which is down here. The little igloo thing. Ooh. Blood falls. Blood falls beneath Antarctic ice. Iron-rich water flows, forming a red cascade showing a blood fall. Oh, I've seen that before. It's kind of disturbing because, like, you think it's something that it's not. But this should be like a really deep red, then I would assume. Or like a reddish brown? Maybe. We'll see. All right, you guys are going to have to tell me if it's just my Inkvent or if other people have issues with opening these bottles. I mean, I'm appreciative that they're not leaking or anything. I'm sure they have to be really, really tight to make sure that doesn't happen. But day 12. Blood falls. I almost wonder if this will be like oxblood or something. Like Diamond's color oxblood. Which is an ink I just got, which is why it's on my mind. Oh, it almost has a purple hue to it. Okay, this one could be really fun. Oh, they all can be really fun. Let's be honest. I love my variety and my colors and just all the things. This might be one that is sheening a little bit. I'm not sure. And it could be a little harder to clean. Okay, that was day 12, so we need day 13, which is, hold on. I know it's here. I see 14. Oh, 13's down there at the bottom. So it has like the little satellite dish on it. It's harder to do when I'm holding it. I think that's what it is. But 13, golden mist. Particles in the air scatter sunlight into a veil of golden haze. Oh, I bet you this is a shimmer. Oh, it's not. I was totally expecting a shimmer with that description. This looks like it's going to be a very light orange, yellow or yellow orange. Okay, note to self, don't try to open with something else in your hand. Will not work. At least with these bottles for the first time. Oh, golden mist. Day 13. Very light. Golden mist. Very, very light. Almost, it feels almost a little watery. I don't think that's me, but hold on. I want to make sure. No, I think it's just a little watery. Watery's, I don't know, that seems like a bad term, but I don't know how else to describe it. So I don't know about that one. We'll see how it dries. It might be on the lighter side for me, and I tend to like a more pigmented ink because I'm not using it for art a lot. I mean, I'm starting to a little bit with my my little project that I've been doing this month, but otherwise, not so much. Okay, so that was 13. So 14 is over here in a corner. Ooh. Mauve Mission. After a solar storm brushed past Mars, a violet aura bloomed across its skies. Ooh, I like the purple. Okay, I'm liking Golden Mist as it dries because it has a very different feel than it did when I first put it down. I don't see shimmer or anything in here, so we'll see how you go down. Well, I can tell from the purple on my finger, it's going to be a very pretty purple. So this is day 14. Mauve. I need to look up Maven, M-A-V-E-N, mission. I need to look up what mauve technically looks like because I'm curious now. I don't know that I ever have. Seems like a very dark purple. I like me dark purple. And there's a Rotten Clinger ink that I really love that I think is a similar color, but I'm not sure. So that would take us to the end of week 2, I think. Okay, it looks like Mauve Mission has a little bit of a sheen coming out. I think it's black, but I'm not positive. All right, D15 is up here. There we go. So this is just in the sky one. So follow the water, one sentence that set the course of Martian exploration. That was forever ago. Gosh, I think I was still in high school when they were talking about that. Ooh, this one's a shimmer or glistening ink. And this looks like it's going to be very interesting because I'm looking at the color of the shimmer and the base color, And I don't know that I have anything that's close because it looks like it's an iridescent shimmer, which I really like the iridescent shimmers because they're so cool to look at. And I really do think the way that they've picked their inks is really nice. They're practical and pretty. How's that? I know practical's not always like a nice word to use for things, but I feel like last year they really were. So this is day 15. Oh, that's an interesting color. I don't know what I think of it, to be honest. We'll have to see when it dries. But it's definitely unique. So what I'm remembering, and granted, it's been 20 plus years, but that they found particles of water on Mars, and so they were trying to figure out where they came from, is what I vaguely remember. But like I said, it's been 20 some years. And while I enjoy space things, I haven't really kept up on it. My husband does, because he's that type of geek, and we love him for it. So that's going to be interesting as it dries. Somebody recently sent me a sample of gold gum, I think is what it was called by them, and I wonder how close this will be to that. I think that one is more bright, but kind of gives me that same vibe. And that one's hard to find, so that would be a cool addition. Okay, that was 15. So now we need 16, which is down here at the bottom. 16. Ooh, polar night. In a season without sunrise, the sky rests under an overlapping purple and pink. I wonder how that's going to work. Overlapping purple and pink. I'm not seeing shimmer, so maybe a sheen? We'll see. There haven't been a whole lot of sheens or shimmers, and they weren't last year either. So, I don't know. I do like the idea. Like, one of my favorite inks is Pink Squirrel from Robert Oster, and that is definitely like a purpley pink. So let's see how this one is. Day 16, Polar Night. I like the base here. It's definitely a soft, what I would call purple. But we'll have to see how it dries. Because sometimes it's almost a gray, like a gray purple maybe. I wonder if it's a dual shader. That would be cool. Let's see, day 17, which is over here. Diamond Planet. At the heart of a small, rough planet, blue crystals lie compressed and quietly sleeping. Crystals make me think shimmer, but I don't see any. Okay. I like the label, so I'm thinking deep blue. Oh yeah, pink is coming out in the Polar Night now. That's really cool. Ah! I just got a whole bunch of ink on my finger. Okay, I need to win so I can get the hand cleaning stuff. Actually, I'll scratch it off and I'll tell you what I got at the very end, okay? Day 17, and we have Diamond Planet. This might be another one that would really be cool with that shimmer added to it. Oh, there we go. Okay, this makes me think of the base tone for, what was it? It was one of their Inkvent ones that I really, really loved. I have a bottle of it. Hold on. It wasn't the snake one. It was the year before. Dragon. The dragon ink. which is a very nice pigmented blue. And actually, I wouldn't mind having it without any of the glistening, which would be really nice because it's a very cool color. But I do use a lot of really fine tipped pens because I like the way they write better. Oh, and I think I'm seeing a little bit of it's either red or pink coming out on the edges. But like I said, we'll look at everything really close once it all dries because you really don't know all the properties until they dry. So that was 17. 18 as at the top with the stars. Here we have another red one. Red aura. A crimson aura unfolds high above, sweeping across the entire sky. So I'm thinking like sunset maybe, or sunrise. Is that what we're talking about? So it looks like a true like red, not like a burgundy or anything like that. No shimmer. So this is day 18. Yeah. Definitely a red. I don't know if it leans a little pinky. We'll have to see how it dries. But this combined with some of the other ones would be really fun. And it seems like a nice like base color. And if I was doing, 4th of July things, I think the two of these combined would be a good combination for that. Just looking at them together. That's really nice. It's a very vibrant red that kind of almost pops off the page. It's like that red that, the teacher would put your mistakes on. That's what it makes me think of. Oh, let's see. Who do we have next? 19? Getting close, guys. 19's at the top as well. Cosmic Reef. In the heart of space, a nebula blooms like coral. At the edge of red and blue, stars are born. Ooh, I'm thinking shading. That would make sense to me. Okay, so looks... Ooh, this one's hard. It's very, very dark, whatever it is. It would be cool to have something that had 2 sheens in it. Is that even possible? I don't know, but it would be cool. Okay, ink companies. Experiment with that. Let me know how that goes. Because that would be kind of interesting. I don't know if that's even possible. So it looks almost brown from that. Little bit. Hold on. Nope, it's smearing blue. Okay. We're going to have to do some heavy cleaning up after this. Not as bad as the day I spilled Frankenstein, though. That was a day. Day 19. And we are cosmic. So it looks black going down. But I know from that little spillage there that it is actually a blue. We'll probably end up seeing it around the edges. But it's like Diamine's Nightfall blue. Like that really, really deep blue. That's hard to decipher sometimes between black. 20's down here, so kind of middle-ish. So golden air glow. That's interesting. Sunlight touches the upper atmosphere, scattering quietly into a soft golden glow. Okay. So we do have shimmer here. That's a definite gold shimmer. And it almost looks like it's a brown base, but we'll have to see once we get, like sometimes you just can't tell in the bottle, but that's the vibe I'm getting. So like a brown with a shimmer would be, well, those are some of my favorites actually. Oh, and yes, this definitely has a red sheen that's starting to come out. I don't know how vibrant that red sheen is, but it's definitely there. Okay, this one is Day 20. There we go. And it's golden and air glow. I probably should have shook that. Hold on. So I'm definitely getting brown vibes here, but I am gonna shake it a little bit again before I do another dib because I'm worried I didn't get any shimmer on that one. Oop. There we go. This one seems maybe a little drier. It just isn't flowing off as easily. It could be the shimmer though. Maybe darker than cocoa shimmer, like more of a deep, deep brown with that golden shimmer. I like it. I like most inks, but I like it. Yeah, I think I'm going to really like that. 21's up here at the top. Ooh, pink salt. Over thousands of years, time has seeped into the salt, blooming into a soft, time-worn pink glow. So this feels more, not just space themed this year, more incorporating more science things as well. So I'm not huge on pinks, I'll be honest. Like, I like my pink swirl, but that's actually more of like a gray pink. So I don't have a lot of pink things. I do wonder, I know Vegas, because they have a whole series that are the states, and I only have, I think, one of them. I have Tar Heel, which is North or South Carolina, and I love that color. But in the bottle, at least, that's what it's making me think is like Las Vegas or Vegas. I can't remember what it's called. So day 21, very pink, pink salt. And as I said, I'm not a huge pink person, so I'm not expecting to love this ink, but we'll see. There are times where you need a good pink, so we'll just have to see how it dries. Doesn't want to come off the nib as well. There we go. All right, we're on to day 22, which is down at the bottom here with the little rover. Sorry. Like I said, it's a little harder to do when you're holding it at the same time. Okay, so this is the one I'm not going to be able to pronounce right. I'm sure of it. So it is called Sojourner, Sojourner. In 1997, humanity's first rover set foot on Mars. It introduced us to the red planet. And I love that it's the one with the rover on it. So, like I said, details, right, guys? So this looks to be probably a blue ink of some nature. No glitter. Oof. My hands are starting to get a little sore from opening the bottles because they are so tight. Okay. Maybe if I use my dip pen to put it down. No, that's not going to work. Okay. I tried. I was trying to save my poor fingers. Anyhow. So this is day 22. And Sojourn. It flows really nicely. It does look like it's a blue. Just a very deep blue. I wonder how similar this is to one of the other ones we had. What was it called? Hold on. Let me look. So we had, I think it was Cosmic Reef when it first went down. It was super dark. But no, it looks like it's going to be very different from that. Day 23 is, over here on the side. Black Lunar. Or Lunar Black, sorry. I mixed up the order. But this is what it says on this one. A meteorite formed, the moon arrived in silence, cloaked in a black that resembled shadows. So I'm not thinking an absolute black, but more of a gray black maybe. So I didn't see any shimmer with this one either or anything. So let's see. So day 23, Lunar Black. So we'll have to see how this compares to the super black one that we had, the Void. That's what it was. Okay. There we go. I'm seeing some greenish hues in here. I don't know how it'll appear in writing, but I definitely see some bluish green hues there. So not as like starkly black as the Void. And then our final day, day 24, is right here next to our Santa Claus. And it says, Winter Wonderland. This is a glistening. In the frozen heart of space, a star-forming nebula sparkles like snow. It is where the shape of winter quietly rests. Okay. I like the initial color here because, like I said, I'm a teal girl. Looks like we're going to have a very bright blue shimmer maybe. Possibly similar to the, what was it? Milky Sea. I wonder how close this is to Lammy Blue Black, actually. D24. Okay, well, there we go. I like the name. I'm not seeing a ton of shimmer. So let me shake it again and do a redip and see if we get more shimmer. And it might just be it needs to dry because sometimes you don't really see how shimmery something is until it's dry. I'm not opposed to having something with a very light shimmer, but I just want to make sure I give a good representation, that's all. Okay. All right, now that everything's dried, let's take a closer look at how everything turned out. I'm really happy with all the colors that are in here. I think I'm going to enjoy it just as much as I did the Inkvent from last year. So here we go. Day one was that Martian dust color, and it's a really deep red with just maybe a hint of brown at the edges. So it's that brown red, and it really pops actually with the color that's next to it. And I found that interesting that a lot of times there is an ink next to it that might complement it really well. So it's a standard ink as far as I can tell, although it might have a small sheen with that brown edge, but it's really hard for me to tell. This is the color I think I'm going to really enjoy using. I think it's dark enough that it's going to pop off the page. And in general, I really like the way that the Colorverse or the Colorverse inks really perform overall. Day two's, I don't know if it's Apollo or if it's something else, but I like this color. I like the shading that I'm getting from it, and that we have some darker edges with really just pooled ink where it's layering on top of each other. And the color is easy to read. It pops off. It'll complement a lot of different colors. I think if we wanted to add glistening to this, it could be really cool as well. But as a standard ink, I think it's really nice. Day three was that Urbis Crater, which is kind of a murky blue. There is a nice amount of shading in here. You see a little bit of a purplish color just at the end here. I think it's going to be a standard color and just kind of, it doesn't stand out as anything spectacular, but sometimes we don't need spectacular things. Sometimes we need those standard colors that are just going to work with everything, and that's what this one feels like. Milky Sea is our first shimmer ink in here, and I'm loving this one. The shimmer isn't over the top. It kind of really complements the blue tones. It's a blue purple almost shimmer, so it brings out some unique qualities, and it's just really pretty. I don't know how much of the shimmer is coming across on the camera, but it is really pretty. Next, we have that Void, which very much reminds me of Good Tidings from last year. So it's a black ink with a black sheen. You can really see how that's shining there. So I think it's a good ink. I don't know how it's going to perform. I did have some problems last year with Good Tidings, sometimes clogging up some pens. So hopefully this one will perform a little better. Little Green Men, or LGM, is, well, okay, so I put these in the wrong order. We'll go through the right order. Okay, next we have Sun Grazing Comet, which I think is a really interesting color. It's that really nice blue. It looks like we could potentially get some shading in here. Has a little bit of a red sheen just at the edges, at least in my swatch. I don't know if other people's swatches will come out differently, but I really like this one. I think it's going to be a standard color. However, I do have quite a few inks that kind of fall into this category, and I do wonder how close this is going to be to Jack Frost. Jack Frost is one of my favorite inks. I think the shimmer, or the sheen, is lower in this one, at least from this swatch, so I'll have to see. But I do have spots where the ink is heavier, where you get a lot more red in there, so I don't know. Then we had Day 7 with Little Green Men. I'm surprised I like this ink, to be honest. I wasn't expecting to, because I don't generally like neon type greens and that kind of thing. But there's something about this one with the shading that you can get with it, and just the way it writes. It doesn't hurt my eyes, but it is definitely a very bright color. So it's neon adjacent, we'll call it. But I really liked how this one turned out. I don't know how much I'm going to use it. We're going to have to see. Next on Day 8 was Snow Angel. And this one reminds me a little bit of a darker version of Wilted Rose from last year's Inkvent from Diamine. So I haven't put them next to each other again, but that's the vibe it gives me. I do like the shading, and it did turn out better than I thought it would. And I do think I'll probably use it more than I think I will. Next was that shimmer component, which I think looks really cool. And I will do some testing with it to see how it works, but I'm excited to have that. I think it's going to be an amazing addition to this, because that essentially gives you two different versions of each one of these inks. Then we have the Flame Nebula for Day 10. Little disappointed in this one. I was hoping for something a little deeper in the red tones, but instead we kind of have this orangish pinkish color, and it's not bad. I mean, I'm sure I'll use it, but it's not my favorite. I'll say that. I tend to be drawn more to vibrant colors, and I think that's what it is. But it's not a bad ink color, and it's a standard again. And when I was putting it down originally, I was thinking Autumn Oak, but I think this is more pink than Autumn Oak is. Then we have Day 11 with Blue Hole. This is a very bright teal color, and I do like it. It falls kind of in the neon adjacent, kind of like the Green Men, where it just is very vibrant, but not in a bad way. And I think we do get some variation a little bit and little shading with that color. Next was Blood Falls. And this one is a sheening. It looks like a green sheen to me. I can see it really on the writing at the top. I don't know if it had somehow fallen off, because I only am getting it around the edges really. It's a unique color. It has some of the same vibes as Sleigh Ride, only Sleigh Ride was a more pinkish tone, and I think I like this base tone better. Sleigh Ride was Diamonds last year. Then we have Day 13 Golden Mist. Now, this is a color that surprised me. I wasn't expecting it when I put it on the paper. I was like, "Oh, I think I'm going to hate this one." I don't hate it. I don't know what I think about it, to be honest. I It intrigues me, and I want to see how it performs on other paper, because sometimes with the iron gall, you can almost get like some additional shading that you won't get on other papers just because of the pen pressure with the paper itself kind of reacting. So I'm not sure how that one's going to go. It's interesting. I don't know if I'm going to use it, but I'm intrigued by it. We'll say that. And it's a very light color, but it's not so light you can't read it. I don't know how it's going to perform in a pen though. I'm guessing you would need a wider nib for that one. Then we have Mauve Mission, which I really like. This is a deep purple tone, and it looks like it has a bit of a black sheen to it, which again, I'm just seeing on the edges, so the purple is still very much there. And so I like that one. I like the deep purple color. It really pops off. Then we have Day 15, Follow the Water. This one, again, is very unique. And I had told you guys that it kind of reminded me of this ink that I was given recently called Gold Gum. Gold Gum? So here is Colorverse's Gold Gum. And I was expecting more of this. And this is definitely a lot more murky. It has a lot of gray in it almost. And I don't know. It's interesting. It's not like anything else I have. And so I think it's a fun experiment. But I honestly don't know what I think of it. It is a shimmer. It's almost a yellow with a blue shimmer on top, maybe. So it's an interesting combo. It makes it really easy to read at most angles, honestly. Then we have Polar Night, which I think is a dual shader. I'm seeing a lot of pink and purple in there, as well as maybe a little blue. Reminds me a little bit of Fuji, like those Sailor inks, but it doesn't quite have the punch that they do. Still a really nice ink, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure how legible this will be in a fine nib. Then we have Diamond Planet for Day 17. Really vibrant blue, just really pops off the page and has just that red sheen around the edges, at least in my sample. I'm interested to see how they show up for other people, but really solid blue, pretty standard overall. Nothing really to write home about, but I mean, sometimes you really need those standards, and they've been great assets to my collection this year. Then we have Red Aura, which kind of reminded me of Captain Hook in that it felt like it was going to have some of those brown sheening type hues. And instead, I think we have more of like an orangish brown instead of a brown for a little bit of that sheen. It's not a ton, but there's there. And I think this is maybe a little bit more of the pinky instead of the like red brown color. So still a really nice ink. It's very, very vibrant. I would say the two of these combined, like I said, would make really good 4th of July spreads. Then we have Cosmic Reef, which has, I think it's a reddish sheen, but it's not the red that I saw here. It's more of a brownish red. And I like the deep blue color. Just a very nice overall ink. But not something that I haven't seen before, I would say. Next, we have Golden Air Glow. This one is really cool. I like it a lot. I love the shimmer in it. It really accentuates that brown hues. It's a little darker, I think, than most of my brown gold combos, because I have a couple of them because I really like that combo. But I do think it's deeper than any of the tones that I have. Then we have pink salt here. This is definitely a pink. I don't have very many pinks at all. So it makes me think strawberry for some reason. And I don't know, it's an interesting color. Again, I don't know how much I'll use this one, but last year, some of the inks that I was like, I'm not sure how much I'll use this, ended up being some of the inks that I used the most. Okay, our last three inks are this Sojourner. This one is a blue base, but the black sheen almost overpowers it. So you get a little bit of that blue peeking out in various places, but mainly you're seeing that black sheen, I think. Then we have Lunar Black, which kind of reminds me of Lami's Blue Black, just a pretty standard color, but again, a good standard color. And then our last one is Winter Wonderland with that teal. It has a bit of a red sheen, and then you also have like a teal colored shimmer in there. So I really, really like this last ink. But again, it's a color that I've seen in other companies. It makes me think Emerald Chivor, although I'm guessing once I put the two next to each other, there's going to be a lot of difference. So overall, I would say it's a good mix of colors. I like having so many standard inks, honestly, because I am a little bit more gravitated to the fine nib. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this. There are a couple of colors, and there's always going to be a couple of colors that aren't quite my thing. And I think that's just standard for having an Inkvent calendar. That being said, I love the fact that they included this gleaming kind of potion, because I feel like that allows you to turn any one of these into a shimmer ink. And I love that aspect. I haven't used one before, but I like the concept. So I think that really adds to the value of this particular calendar. Other things that stood out to me were the placement and how much thought was put into where the inks were on the Inkvent calendar, because it seemed to correlate with the image on the front. And so there was definitely some thought put into that aspect. So as far as packaging quality, I think they hit it out of the ballpark. Now, as we're talking about value, let's talk about cost here. So it is the most expensive Inkvent calendar out there at $180. With that price tag, though, you are getting glass bottles opposed to plastic bottles. There are some advantages and disadvantages to that. The advantage being they are really cool bottles. The disadvantage being that, well, they're harder to store because you can't stack them as neatly next to each other. So it has its trade-offs, right? But we do get the glass bottles, and that is an additional cost for them, I'm assuming. A standard bottle of their 15 milliliter ink in one of these type bottles runs about $12. If my calculations were correct, these cost about $7.50 a bottle in the Inkvent. So you are getting a substantial savings from that perspective. You are getting a lot of ink. I haven't calculated it out actually to see which Inkvent has more ink, but I think they're comparable, because in here you're getting 15 milliliter bottles and they're all the same size. With the Diamine, you get 12 milliliter bottles, and then the Last Day is a 30. So I think there's probably a little bit more, but not so much that it really makes a difference in which one I would buy. Overall, good value. Love the inks. Excited to open it and add these to my collection. Let me know what you guys thought. Which inks did you really love? Which ones did you hate? All right, guys, that's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I will leave a link to Atlas Stationery's down below. It's an affiliate link. Use it if you want to. It's something that you can do to support my channel if you're going to buy one of these calendars anyhow. So I'll have a link directly to the Inkvent. And then also, I do have a discount code. I'm not 100% positive if it works on the Inkvent calendars, but you can try Jessica10 to see if it gives you 10% off. It does work on a lot of items, but not everything in the store. So anyhow, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, I'll see you real soon.